When winter storms hit and the power goes out, your home can quickly turn from a cozy retreat into a life-threatening survival situation. Freezing temperatures don't just make you uncomfortable, they can become deadly in a matter of hours. The harsh truth: most people are completely unprepared. Many don't have a backup heat source, and those who do often rely on equipment that's unsafe to use indoors. But here's the game changer. Dollar Tree carries 11 simple items that could literally save your life during a winter blackout. These aren't trendy internet hacks or overhyped gimmicks. They're practical, affordable, and based on the science of how the human body loses heat. Together, these items cost less than $18, but their value in a crisis? Absolutely priceless. Each item solves a specific problem that can lead to hypothermia, and when used correctly, they can stretch your heat sources, keep your family warm, and help you survive even a multi-day power outage. In this video, we'll break down exactly what to buy, how to use it, and why these items work when everything else fails. Don't wait until it's too late. This knowledge could make all the difference this winter. 1. For petroleum jelly, the ultimate survival fuel and skin savior. When you walk down the skincare aisle at Dollar Tree, you probably see petroleum jelly as a remedy for chapped lips or dry elbows. But in a winter survival situation where the power grid has failed and the temperature inside your home is plummeting, that small tub of jelly transforms into one of the most critical survival assets you can own. It is not just a moisturizer, it is solidified fuel waiting to be activated. The science behind petroleum jelly's survival value lies in its chemical composition. It is a hydrocarbon mixture derived from petroleum, meaning it shares the same flammable properties as other oil-based products, but in a stable, safe-to-store semi-solid form. While it won't explode like gasoline, it acts as an incredible accelerant when paired with a wick. This makes it an essential component for emergency fire starting. Most people struggle to start a fire in emergency conditions because tinder is often damp, or the wind blows out the initial flame before the kindling catches. Matches burn out in seconds. Lighters can freeze or run out of fuel. However, if you coat a simple combustible material like a cotton ball, dryer lint, or even a scrap of paper in petroleum jelly, you extend the burn time significantly. Instead of a fleeting spark, you get a sustained hot flame that burns for several minutes. This prolonged heat is crucial for drying out damp wood or igniting stubborn charcoal when you are trying to heat food or boil water. Beyond fire starting, petroleum jelly plays a vital medical role in preventing hypothermia. One of the biggest threats during a winter blackout is evaporative cooling. As your skin dries out in the cold air, it cracks and loses moisture, which accelerates heat loss from your body. Windburn and frostbite can set in much faster than people realize, especially on exposed areas like your face and hands. By applying a layer of petroleum jelly to your cheeks, nose, and hands, you create an occlusive barrier. This seal locks moisture in and keeps the freezing air out. It effectively insulates your skin against the wind, reducing the risk of frostbite. Furthermore, before you put on your socks and gloves, slathering your feet and hands with jelly can help trap body heat against the skin. It acts as an extra invisible layer of insulation that reduces friction and prevents blisters if you have to walk to find help. For $1.25, you get a product that never expires, requires no special storage conditions, is waterproof, and serves two distinct life-saving functions. It keeps your fire going, and it keeps your body heat contained. That versatility makes it worth its weight in gold when the lights go out. 2. Cotton balls, the 100-count ignition system. A bag of cotton balls seems like the most mundane item in a bathroom cabinet, typically reserved for removing nail polish or applying toner. But in the context of a winter blackout, a bag of 100 cotton balls from Dollar Tree is essentially a bag of 100 potential fires. When you strip away modern conveniences like central heating and electric stoves, the ability to create fire becomes your primary method for survival. You need fire for warmth, for cooking, and for sterilizing water. Cotton, in its raw form, is a highly flammable natural fiber. Its high surface area allows it to catch a spark almost instantly. However, on its own, a cotton ball burns up in a flash, literally seconds. It gives you a burst of flame, but not enough sustained heat to actually get a fire log burning. This is where the synergy with petroleum jelly from point number 1 becomes critical, but even without the jelly, dry cotton balls are invaluable tinder. If you are using a ferro rod, magnesium striker, or even a lighter that is running low on fuel, a cotton ball is your best friend. You simply pull the fibers apart to fluff it up, increasing the surface area even more. This fluffed cotton will catch the tiniest spark from a striker, instantly bursting into flame. In a situation where your hands are numb and your dexterity is compromised, having tinder that is this easy to light can be the difference between freezing and getting warm. The real magic happens when you prepare these ahead of time. By working petroleum jelly into the cotton balls and storing them in a small container or Ziploc bag, you create waterproof fire starters. Standard matches are useless if they get wet. Lighters fail in extreme cold. But a Vaseline-soaked cotton ball is impervious to water. You can dunk it in a puddle, shake it off, pull the fibers apart to expose the dry center, and it will still light. This reliability is what professional survivalists look for. In a blackout, stress levels are high. You do not want to be fighting with wet leaves or trying to shave wood shavings in the dark while your family is shivering. You want a one-strike solution. With a bag of 100 cotton balls, you have weeks of fire-starting capability for just over $1. Furthermore, cotton balls have secondary survival uses. They can be used as emergency earplugs to protect against cold drafts or noise. They can be used as padding for blisters or makeshift wound dressing if you run out of sterile gauze. They can even be used to filter sediment out of water before you boil it. They are lightweight, compressible, and incredibly cheap. Ignoring them is a mistake. Stocking them is a strategic advantage. 3. Wool blend scarves. The critical heat retention layer. When people prepare for winter outages, they often focus on heavy blankets or propane heaters, overlooking the simple physics of how the human body loses heat. We lose a significant amount of heat through our head and neck area. The neck, in particular, is a major thermal leak zone. Major arteries, the carotids, carry large volumes of warm blood right near the surface of the skin to your brain. If your neck is exposed to cold air, that blood cools down rapidly as it circulates, lowering your overall core body temperature. This is why a scarf is not just a fashion accessory. It is a tactical piece of insulation. Dollar Tree sells wool blend scarves that are shockingly effective for the price. While they may not be 100% merino wool like expensive outdoor brands, the blends found at Dollar Tree often contain enough real wool or acrylic fibers to mimic wool's best properties. The most important property of wool, and good synthetic wool mimics, is that it retains its insulating capability even when wet. This is a massive advantage over cotton. As the saying goes among hikers, cotton kills. When cotton gets wet, whether from sweat, spilled water, or condensation, it loses all air pockets and sucks heat away from your body 25 times faster than air. In a blackout, you might be sweating from moving furniture, hauling wood, or stress. If your scarf gets damp and it's made of cotton, it becomes a liability. A wool blend scarf, however, will continue to trap dead air and keep you warm even if it absorbs moisture. The versatility of a scarf in a blackout scenario is unmatched. Obviously, you wear it around your neck to seal the gap between your jacket and your throat. This chimney effect prevents warm air from escaping your torso and cold air from sinking down your shirt. But it doesn't stop there. A scarf can be wrapped around your face to protect your nose and mouth from freezing air, warming the air before you breathe it into your lungs. This helps preserve your core temperature and protects your bronchial tubes. It can be used as an improvised hat if you wrap it over your head. You can wrap it around your kidneys, lower back to add extra insulation to your core. It can serve as a pillow to keep your head off a cold floor. In a pinch, it can even be used as a sling for an injured arm or a pre-filter for water. During a multi-day outage, your house will get cold, likely dropping into the 40s or even 30s inside. You need to wear your outdoor gear indoors. Wearing a scarf 24/7 inside the house is one of the easiest ways to boost your warmth without consuming fuel. For $1.25, a wool blend scarf provides a targeted, effective barrier against heat loss that protects your most vulnerable blood vessels. It is a low-tech, high-impact item that belongs in every emergency kit. 4. Bandanas, the respiratory defense system. When most people scan the aisles of Dollar Tree for survival gear, they walk right past the bandanas. They see a cheap fashion accessory or maybe a craft project. But in a survival situation where the furnace is dead and the air inside your home has dropped to freezing temperatures, a simple cotton bandana becomes a critical respiratory defense tool. It is arguably the most weight-efficient item you can carry. The primary survival function of a bandana in a blackout involves the physics of breathing. When you inhale freezing air, your body has to work overtime to warm that air before it reaches your lungs. This internal heating process consumes calories, energy that your body desperately needs to maintain your core temperature. By tying a bandana around your face, bandit style, to cover your nose and mouth, you create a preheating chamber. The fabric captures the moisture and heat from your exhale, so when you take your next breath, the air is warmer and more humid. This simple act can significantly reduce the rate at which your core temperature drops. Beyond breathing, A bandana serves as the ultimate sealant for your clothing system. Heat naturally rises, and in a survival situation, your jacket acts like a chimney. As your body generates heat, it tries to escape through the collar. By rolling a bandana tight and tying it around your neck, you create a gasket that seals that gap. This stops the chimney effect in its tracks, trapping that valuable warmth against your torso where it belongs. The versatility of the bandana is what makes it worth gold. In a grid-down scenario, hygiene standards drop rapidly. A bandana can be used as a washcloth to keep skin clean, which is vital for morale and health. It can be torn into strips to use as cordage for building improvised shelters or securing gear. In a medical emergency, it functions as a triangular bandage for a sling or a pressure dressing holder. It can even be used as a coarse pre-filter for water before you boil it, removing debris and sediment that would otherwise waste fuel to boil. For $1.25, you are not just buying a square of fabric. You are buying a multi-tool that weighs practically nothing. You can store 10 of them flat in a Ziploc bag, taking up less space than a pair of wool socks. During a multi-day outage, having a fresh, dry bandana for each day is a luxury that maintains hygiene and insulation efficiency when everything else is falling apart. 5. Knee-high socks. The arterial insulation layer. Cold feet are the first signal that your body is losing the battle against the cold. Once your extremities go numb, your mobility decreases, your morale plummets, and you become vulnerable to frostnip or chilblains. While standard ankle socks are better than nothing, Dollar Tree's knee-high socks offer a distinct physiological advantage that can be a game-changer during a winter blackout. The physiological benefit lies in coverage. Your lower legs house significant muscle mass and blood vessels. When blood flows down to your feet, it travels through the calf. If your calves are exposed to cold drafts, which is common if your pant legs ride up while sitting, the blood cools down before it ever reaches your toes. By the time it cycles back to your heart, it's colder, lowering your overall core temperature. Knee-high socks insulate this transit route. They provide a continuous thermal barrier from your knee down to your toes, ensuring that the blood arriving at your feet is as warm as possible. These socks are also the secret weapon of the layering system. In extreme cold, one pair of thick socks is often not enough and can actually be detrimental if they are too tight and restrict circulation. A better strategy is to wear a thin pair of knee-high socks as a base layer, followed by a thicker pair of wool or thermal socks. The knee-highs trap a layer of dead air against the skin and wick moisture away, while the outer layer provides bulk insulation. This combination creates a thermal break that is far superior to a single layer. Furthermore, knee-high socks are incredibly versatile in an emergency. If you run out of gloves, a pair of knee-highs makes excellent improvised mittens that cover your hands and extend all the way up your forearms, eliminating wrist gaps. They can be used to insulate water bottles to prevent them from freezing solid. You can even fill them with heated rocks wrapped in a towel or dry rice to create makeshift heating pads to place in your sleeping bag. Perhaps most importantly, at $1.25 a pair, you can afford to buy bulk quantities. Moisture is the enemy of warmth. If your feet sweat, your socks get damp, and damp socks conduct heat away from the body 25 times faster than dry ones. Having a rotation of 6 or 12 pairs of knee-high socks means you can change them specifically to keep your feet dry. You can hang damp pairs near a candle heater or on a drying rack while wearing a fresh, dry pair. This rotation discipline is often the difference between staying comfortable and suffering a cold weather injury. 6. Baby receiving blankets. The modular insulation hack. When you see baby receiving blankets on a survival list, you might be skeptical. They are thin, often made of flannel or cotton and small, but their specific design features intended for swaddling infants make them incredibly effective for adult survival in a freezing home. They solve problems that heavy, bulky blankets simply cannot address. The magic of the receiving blanket is its conformability. Heavy wool blankets are stiff. They bridge over gaps, leaving pockets of cold air next to your body. Receiving blankets are designed to drape and cling. This makes them perfect for filling the void spaces in your insulation system. You can wrap one around your kidneys, lower back, another around your shoulders, and a third around your head. Because they are thin and soft, they don't restrict movement or create uncomfortable bulk under a coat. Head heat loss is a major concern. During sleep, if you don't have a balaclava, a receiving blanket is the perfect alternative. You can wrap it around your head and neck, leaving only a breathing hole. Unlike a scratchy wool scarf, the flannel is soft against the face and won't cause irritation. This mummy wrap technique drastically retains heat that would otherwise radiate into the room while you sleep. These blankets also excel in moisture management. In a survival situation, drying wet gear is difficult. A heavy duvet or a thick wool blanket can take days to dry if it gets wet, becoming a heavy, useless liability. A thin flannel receiving blanket can be hand-washed and air-dried in a few hours, even in a cool room. This allows you to maintain clean bedding and insulation layers, which is crucial for preventing sickness during a long-term outage. They are also excellent for spot insulation. If you have a drafty window or a gap under a door, a rolled-up receiving blanket is pliable enough to be jammed into the crack to stop the airflow effectively. They can be used to wrap hot water bottles to prevent burns, or as extra liners inside a sleeping bag to boost its temperature rating by a few degrees. For the price, you can build a modular system. 3 or 4 thin layers of receiving blankets trapped together often provide better insulation than one thick layer because of the air trapped between the fabric. You can adjust your warmth level instantly by adding or removing a sheet, giving you temperature control that a single heavy sleeping bag doesn't offer. 7. Dish towels, the home infrastructure protectors. Dish towels are the unsung heroes of household survival. We think of them strictly for drying plates, but in a blackout, they transition into a vital role as infrastructure protectors and utility fabric. When the heat goes out, the threat isn't just to your body, it's to your home itself. The most critical use for Dollar Tree dish towels in a freeze is pipe insulation. When the internal temperature drops below freezing, water pipes in exterior walls or under sinks are at risk of bursting. A burst pipe during a blackout is a catastrophe. It introduces water into a freezing environment, destroying your shelter and soaking your supplies. By wrapping dish towels tightly around vulnerable pipes and securing them with duct tape or string, you create a layer of insulation that can buy you precious time. That extra R value can keep the water inside liquid just long enough for the weather to break. Draft protection is another massive utility. Houses bleed heat through cracks around windowsills and door jambs. A draft snake is a common solution, but you might not have enough of them. Rolling a dish towel tightly creates a dense, flexible barrier that can be pressed firmly against these gaps. The terry cloth texture grips the surface and fills small irregularities better than smooth fabric, stopping the infiltration of cold air that defeats your efforts to stay warm. On a personal level, dish towels are excellent thermal barriers for handling improvised heating sources. If you are heating stones in a fire to bring inside, or moving a hot cast iron pot from a grill to a table, you need protection. Synthetic gloves can melt. Thin shirts offer no protection. A folded cotton dish towel is a proven heat shield. It allows you to safely manipulate hot objects, which is a daily necessity when you are cooking off-grid. They also serve as the poor man's scarf. If you lack proper scarves for the whole family, a dish towel wrapped around the neck and tucked into a jacket is surprisingly effective. The loop pile of the terry cloth traps a significant amount of dead air, making it a warm if unconventional neck gaiter. Finally, think about condensation. In a small room heated by body heat or propane, condensation will form on windows and walls. This moisture breeds mold and makes the air feel colder. Having a stack of 10 or 20 dish towels allows you to wipe down surfaces constantly, keeping your survival space dry. At $125, they are disposable if they get too dirty, but durable enough to be washed and reused for years. They are cheap insurance for your home and your health. 8. Craft felt sheets, the multi-purpose insulator. In the arts and crafts section of Dollar Tree, you will find stacks of colorful craft felt sheets. To the average shopper, they are just for school projects and holiday decorations. To a prepper, these simple sheets are a versatile, lightweight, and surprisingly effective insulation material. Felt works because it is a non-woven textile, made of matted, compressed fibers. This dense structure creates thousands of tiny air pockets that trap air, making it an excellent barrier against thermal transfer. One of the most significant sources of heat loss in a home is through its windows. Glass is a poor insulator and radiates warmth out into the cold. While heavy curtains help, felt offers a more direct solution. You can cut these sheets to the exact size of your window panes and tape them directly to the glass. This creates a noticeable thermal break. The felt layer acts as a shield, slowing the rate at which the warm air inside your room loses its energy to the cold glass. For the price, you can afford to double or even triple the layers, significantly boosting the R value of your windows and keeping your living space warmer for longer. Felt's compressible yet sturdy nature makes it ideal for plugging drafts. Unlike loose fabric that can be easily dislodged, a strip of felt jammed into the gap under a door or around a poorly sealed window frame will hold its position. It fills these spaces snugly, stopping the constant infiltration of cold air that can make a room impossible to keep warm. It's more effective than a simple towel because it maintains its loft and structure even when compressed. Beyond insulating your home, felt can directly insulate your body. One of the most persistent ways we lose heat is through conduction to the cold floor. Your feet are particularly vulnerable. By tracing your shoe outline onto a sheet of felt and cutting out a pair of insoles, you create a thermal barrier right inside your footwear. This simple addition prevents the cold from the floor from constantly pulling warmth out of your feet, which helps your entire body stay warmer. It's a low-tech solution that provides immediate and noticeable comfort. Felt's utility doesn't stop there. Its durable, non-fraying nature means it can be used as a protective mat for setting down hot items, a work surface for repairs, or even padding to make sleeping on the floor more bearable. A stack of 10 felt sheets weighs next to nothing, stores completely flat, and costs about the same as a cup of coffee. That small investment provides a flexible material that can insulate your shelter, your body, and plug the gaps that drain your precious heat. 9. Cardboard and poster board, the ultimate floor and window barrier. In a survival scenario, what was once considered trash often becomes a treasure. Cardboard boxes and poster board, both available at Dollar Tree for next to nothing, are prime examples. During a winter blackout, your home's floor becomes a massive heat sink. Whether it's wood, tile, or laminate, it will pull warmth directly out of your body through conduction. Sitting or sleeping on a cold floor, even in a sleeping bag, will make you cold faster than almost anything else. This is where cardboard becomes a lifesaver. Corrugated cardboard is specifically engineered with air channels, the wavy flute layer sandwiched between two flatliners. This structure is designed for rigidity, but it also happens to be an excellent thermal insulator. Those air channels trap dead air, which is one of the most effective ways to slow down heat transfer. By flattening out large boxes and laying them down on the floor to create a subfloor in your primary living or sleeping area, you create a thermal barrier between you and the ground. Sleeping on a layer of cardboard with your blankets on top will be significantly warmer than sleeping directly on the floor. It effectively stops the ground from stealing your body heat. Poster board serves a similar, albeit less robust, function. Its dense, compressed paper fibers offer a solid barrier against conduction. While it lacks the air pockets of corrugated cardboard, it is cleaner, smoother, and easier to tape to windows. A layer of poster board taped against a window pane creates an opaque shield that stops radiant heat loss. It essentially turns your window into an insulated wall. In a multi-day blackout, covering all the windows in your designated warm room with poster board can dramatically improve the space's ability to retain heat from body warmth, candles, or an indoor safe heater. The structural nature of cardboard also allows for creative heat management. If you are using candles for light and warmth, much of their radiant energy goes up and out, warming the ceiling or walls behind them. By creating a simple three-sided reflector shield out of cardboard, ideally lined with aluminum foil, our next item, you can capture and direct that heat exactly where you want it, towards the people in the room. This simple trick concentrates the output of your small heat source, making it far more effective. Cardboard costs you nothing but the foresight to save it. It's a free, abundant, and highly effective insulator that protects you from the two biggest heat thieves in your home, your windows and your floors. 10. Aluminum foil, the radiant heat reflector. Aluminum foil is a staple in every kitchen, but its survival utility goes far beyond cooking. In a winter blackout, understanding how to control radiant heat is just as important as creating it. Most of the heat generated by a candle, a person, or an emergency heater is radiant energy. It travels in straight lines and warms whatever it hits. If it hits a cold wall, that heat is absorbed and lost. Aluminum foil, with its highly reflective surface, is the key to redirecting that energy and keeping it where you need it most. The most common and effective use is to build a heat reflector. Place a sheet of aluminum foil or foil taped to a piece of cardboard behind your heat source. Whether it's a row of candles on a ceramic plate or a small propane heater, the foil will bounce the radiant heat that would have been absorbed by the wall back into the room. This simple setup can effectively double the amount of warmth you feel from the heat source. You are capturing and focusing energy that would have otherwise been completely wasted. This allows you to get more heating power out of less fuel, which is critical in a prolonged emergency. Foil also serves as an excellent radiant barrier for your body. Cold radiates from surfaces just like heat does. If you are sleeping near a cold wall or window, it will pull warmth from your body even if you are not touching it. Taping a sheet of foil to the wall next to your sleeping area creates a shield that reflects your body heat back at you and blocks the cold radiation from the wall. You can also apply this directly to your body. Wrapping your feet over your socks in a layer of foil creates an incredibly effective vapor barrier. and heat reflector. It prevents heat from radiating away and stops sweat from making your socks damp, which would accelerate heat loss. Furthermore, aluminum foil is a powerful tool for insulating windows. While cardboard or felt can block conductive and convective heat loss, foil excels at stopping radiant heat loss. Taping it directly to the glass shiny side facing in will reflect a huge percentage of your room's thermal energy back into the living space. While it blocks out light in a multi-day survival scenario where warmth is paramount, this is a worthy trade-off. A single roll from Dollar Tree provides enough material to cover several windows and build multiple heat reflectors. It weighs almost nothing, is completely waterproof, and has a direct and immediate impact on your ability to manage and conserve heat. 11 disposable hand warmers, the personal heat source. In the cold, your body is smart. To protect your vital organs, it pulls blood away from your extremities, your hands and feet. This is why your fingers and toes get cold first. Once they are cold, your dexterity plummets, making simple tasks like opening a can, striking a match, or zipping a coat incredibly difficult. Disposable hand warmers from Dollar Tree are the perfect solution to this problem. They are a safe, self-contained, and long-lasting personal heat source. These packets work through a simple chemical reaction. Inside is a mixture of iron powder, salt, charcoal, and other materials. When you open the plastic wrapper, oxygen from the air reacts with the iron powder in an exothermic process, meaning it releases heat. It is a slow, controlled oxidation rusting process that generates a consistent temperature of around 135 for 6 to 8 hours. There is no flame, no fuel to spill, and no batteries to worry about. They are the definition of fire-and-forget technology. Their most obvious use is inside gloves or mittens. Placing a hand warmer on the back of your hand keeps the blood flowing to your fingers warm, preserving your dexterity and preventing the painful ache of extreme cold. This is essential for performing any tasks that require fine motor skills during a blackout. Beyond your hands, they can be placed in pockets to create warming stations for your core. Placing one in an interior pocket near your chest or kidneys provides a small but constant stream of warmth directly to your torso, helping your body maintain its core temperature with less effort. At night, when your metabolism slows and your body temperature naturally drops, a hand warmer can be a game changer for sleeping comfortably. Placing one or two at the bottom of your sleeping bag creates a personal footbox heater that can prevent hours of shivering. This is especially critical for children and the elderly, who are more susceptible to hypothermia and have a harder time generating their own body heat. For $125 a pair, you can afford to stock up. Having a box of 10 or 20 pairs provides you with dozens of hours of on-demand portable heat. They can be used to warm up a cold pair of boots before putting them on, to keep baby formula from getting too cold, or simply to provide a morale boost on a freezing day. They are a safe, simple, and incredibly effective way to bring targeted heat exactly where it is needed most, without any of the risks associated with open flames or fuel-burning appliances.